Hello and welcome back to the Mind and Money podcast. I'm Sherry, a financial coach.
And I'm Val, a financial planner. And today we are talking about mo money, mo problems. So this topic centers around the fact that after a certain amount of income and needs are met, more money is not going to make us happier people. So I'm going to start off by sharing a couple of statistics or facts. So this study was done in 2021 by Matthew Killingsworth. This study was updated from 2010 from Princeton University, and it's saying that emotional well-being plateaus around 100,000 Canadian in today's dollar, depending on cost of living. The facts that come from this and the findings are that more income does not increase day-to-day happiness, more money does not reduce stress or increase joy. And the studies found that happiness continues to rise with income, but only for people who already find life meaningful. People who are unhappy to begin with do not get significantly happier with more money. So we are talking about today the fact that I think a lot of the times when we're stressed out, specifically around finances, we think if we just had more, if I just made more, if this was just larger, I would not be this stressed, upset, anxious, depressed, whatever it may be. But so often, it's not more money that's going to solve the problem. More money, more problem. So Sherry, what is your spin on this? What is your take after I dumped those facts?
And it really is true that, well, yes, more money doesn't increase happiness unless you've already got a solid foundation there. But I honestly think that it is truly more money, more problems, because when you are a higher income earner, or your household is a higher earning household, that gives you access to more debt. More debt access leads to more debt payments. And when you don't have a solid financial plan and strategies to help you actively manage your money, which it doesn't take hours and hours every week, it can be really simple. But when you don't have those strategies and you increase your income, it causes more chaos and more stress, because especially if that income starts to come from multiple different sources, and when it comes in is fluctuating, how it comes in is fluctuating. If you add in self-employment or some side hustle income, it just adds some more complexity. And what I see with a lot of clients that I start working with that are higher income earners is that debt payment, even their minimum debt payments, make up a pretty significant part of their monthly financial obligations. What sometimes happens when you don't have that solid plan is that you're stressed financially. So then you apply for a new credit card, or you do a balance transfer, or you consolidate some debts, and then you've got more availability on your credit cards. But then you keep digging those holes and adding more and more to debt, and there's eventually a breaking point where your credit cards are maxed out, your lines of credits are maxed out, and then you're not able to get access to more debt, and then your back really is against the wall. And while that sucks, sometimes that's the motivator. Like, there's sometimes a key point, and so like for me, it was getting fired. That was the catalyst to significant changes with money. So when you have those strategies and you increase your income, it easily flows into more money going towards the things that bring you joy and your financial goals. So have a budget with strategies that implement in your life. Like, not preaching, but kind of preaching.
I will echo that, like, having a plan and the right habits in place make all the difference. So for clients that have, and these are normal human things to do, so I don't want to attach any shame to this, but when we do something which is very common, like a refinance. So my mortgage is up for renewal. In the last 5 years, I have a vehicle loan at a higher interest rate. I might have a credit card, some line of credit debt. So often what we do is we wrap all of those debts into our mortgage, might even take out some extra to go towards something that we know the furnace needs to be replaced. And that clears up our debts and has us having one monthly payment, which is great. And a lot of people feel this fresh start. But if there's no change in terms of habits, tracking, and planning, nothing changes. So often, whether it's a 3-year term or a 5-year term, we end up back in that place. And there are sometimes when there's just bigger years in life, and this happens. But I want to highlight that like having that piece did not often fix their problems. It takes action that goes along with the refinance or consumer proposals as an example. So that's where we have clients and they take their debts and they make a deal with the lender essentially, or the creditor, to pay them back less. This is very, very high level. So they pay them back. But if we don't change our habits, we can be repeat users of that strategy, because then we're in 10 years from now, same amount of debt, and we have to file again. So freeing up cash flow is great. And a lot of mortgage experts will be like, hey, we're saving you this much each month. I also love to play the other side of that. And I was just doing this with a client last week where they're in the market to buy a house. So we're looking at the mortgage calculator. And what's really cool about the one that I use is it also shows you how much you will actually pay for that house over the years, which a lot of us don't look at / care about, because we just want to know, like, what is that monthly payment? Can I make that payment? And when we're wrapping our debts together or consolidating debts, that's what we see. We see our savings and we're like, awesome, more money. This is going to be so much less stressful. I'm not going to be having to making all these debt payments. I'll just have my mortgage. But we end up in the same cycle because we don't change anything other than our debt structure. So money, more problems. Coming back to that, above a certain income where our basic needs are met, often a higher income, a larger bonus doesn't actually result in us being like, oh, happier. So we have to have that plan to know that, like, this is enough, right? This is enough, and feeling that and experiencing that. Because if we're always going into debt, we're not feeling that, we're not experiencing that.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. And I love a good mortgage refi where we're simplifying things, we're reducing our interest rate that we're
100%.
paying. But you're right, there is not a lot. Maybe it's just like the algorithm that has me in the personal finance realm. But I do see enough like advertisements and social media videos from mortgage experts where they're like, yes, I saved this couple $1,000 a month in payments. And yes, in the short term, that is the reality. You have $1,000 additional cash flow each month. But if you've then taken a mortgage that you should have been done in 18 years and now it's 25 years, again, you have added more to the long term. And I think that's one of the big challenges too when it comes to money, especially for ADHD folks, is we're looking at like the immediate. What's the immediate reward? And the immediate reward is if I roll in my car payment and my credit card debt into my mortage, I'm simplifying things.
Money.
I have one payment.
Things.
And I'm saving money, and it's going to solve all my problems. But what I really love is a good mortgage refinance. After working with a client for a little while, and they've got these good habits, and they've got these good strategies, and they've been managing, maybe not easily, within their current cash flow, and then we do the refinance, and then we have that $1,000 extra a month that allows them to put money into savings for their future retirement, put money into savings for the short term, for things like car maintenance, home maintenance, vacation, travel. And then it's like, it's intentional purpose with that money. It's not just $1,000 extra a month. And then 18 months, 24 months down the road, you're just like, yeah, we had that 1,000 extra cash flow, but now 800 of that is going to credit card payments again. And we're in a really tough spot. And that's just shitty. And I think a lot of that comes from trying to do certain things that we think are going to make us happy because like, before I got fired, I lived in a world where first I had to physically leave the country to not get work phone calls and texts. But second, I didn't know that it was possible to earn income from something that I didn't hate, not even something that I loved.
Yes.
I thought happiness was from those other things, like what does our house look like? What cars do we drive? How often are we going on vacations?
Which is tying in so well to a later episode, which is social norms and expectations.
Catch that one soon. But it's like, it's really, we have this perception of other people and how they're doing and what their lives are like and that they're happier than us.
Yes,
And that expectation is in many cases incorrect because you and I have the ability to pull back the curtain. And often, yes, we see externally things might look really good, but internally, when we have those conversations, there is that stress and lack of happiness.
And on this topic, I want to share a real life client stories on Mo Money, Mo Problems. So I have two clients, both retired ladies, both sweet, sweet women. Client A has a house that is totally paid off, could probably sell for $1.5 million given its location, and more than enough investments she will never spend all of the money that she has. Amazing situation. She is also constantly worried and stressed and anxious around money. We are actively working through that, but that has come from the enough mindset, right? Is it enough? And showing her through financial planning, it is enough. But then sometimes, often, we still have these beliefs that we now have to rewire. So what is our mind saying? How are we talking about it? Or client B, who has very little investments, lives largely off of like CPP, old age security, pays rent and splits an apartment with her daughter. So is getting by, is comfortable, and knows that like it's enough. And she's so happy. So it's so interesting that I got to meet with both of these gals last week and to see their outlooks and perspectives and essence of life, right? Like, how are we enjoying the time that we have here? So again, more money does not mean less problems.
Yeah, it really is. Like, something like that comes down to your perspective and our deep money beliefs and our money stories and all of those things. But it's really being okay with where you are. And like, it's great to have future goals, to want to increase your income or grow your business or do whatever you want if that's something you genuinely want. But are you doing that because you're stressed about your money and you think that if you double your income, like increase your business by 200%, that you're going to all of a sudden be less stressed? And you're not. You're going to be less stressed when you peel back the layers, stop avoiding your money, look at where you really are, have a plan that aligns with what's important to you in your life. And the big gap that I see is people have these plans or multiple, like 12 versions of a plan for their money, of a budget, and then they don't know what's next, how to take that into their life and make it just part of their life, like budgets around restrictions and all of that versus a budget with wiggle room. And there's so many different strategies to look at it. And if you've got a drawer of budgets or a tab somewhere with 10 budgets in it and nothing's working, just don't make another budget. Start to then look at, we've got an episode on this, cash flow management, how to plan your money for the future, and really adjusting things so that you're not putting all your money towards one thing. And for so many people that are in debt, the focus is, I've put every extra penny towards debt and I can't have this and I can't have that and I can't have this until I get to the point where I've paid off my debts. And that is a really quick path to adding more debt and not paying debt off. So there's like, we could talk about this forever and ever, but really the reality is that if you are stressed about your money now, more money could very likely add stress, not take stress away. But the way to take that stress away is to have a solid plan that implements into your life that aligns with what's important to you. And then when you make more money, then it's even more fun because then you're making active decisions around, I just got this raise, I just got this bonus, where do I want it to go? And
when you're working with your money, not like for your money, to be like, I have it, I need it, it's gone.
And it's really fun to have those conversations internally with Jason and externally with clients to be like, this money came in or this money is coming in. Where are we putting it? And generally, it doesn't all go to one place. Having a plan to put a little bit here, but a little bit for fun too. And it just really is a way to bring more joy to your life with more money and not have it add more stress. So it's getting to the core of what's important to you and having your money strategies align with that is the path to less financial stress, not more money, because then there'll be more problems. So we are glad that you've been here. And we want you to kick ass earning an income level that you want to achieve, but hope that you find ways that you don't feel pressure to do that, to decrease your financial stress. So we are glad you've been here, and we hope you have a wonderful day, and we can't wait to see you next time on the Mind and Money podcast.
Thanks for listening.